Now, we're going to start with divine feminine energy and the way that it shows up. I want to use this as my marker. All right, so starting with the divine feminine. All right. Now, when it comes to yin and yang energy, which one would you categorize divine feminine energy as? Feel free to take a guess. There is, of course, there's a wrong answer, but we're all here to learn, so don't be afraid to comment. If we're talking about yin and yang, which one do we think divine feminine energy will fall up under? Yin or yang? Okay. I'm also streaming live on Big O, so if y'all see me looking on both screens, that's why. All right, so divine feminine energy would be the yin. Okay? Yes, divine feminine energy would be the yin of it all. All right? Divine feminine energy is also represented by moon energy. All right? Now, why do we associate the moon with feminine energy? Feel free to take a guess. Why would we associate the moon with feminine energy? What about the moon gives feminine? Okay, the moon represents the mother, good. Represents cycles, phases, good. Calmness, okay. Our bodies have moon cycles, absolutely. The placement in space, okay. I see what you mean by that. Okay, good. Thank you, Bruce. Hey, Bruce. All right, so we have the representation of the moon with intuition, emotion, okay, creativity, because creativity is a feminine energy to be in, right? Because women are, or divine feminines are the curators, right? We give life, we create life, so on and so forth. So creative energy flows through your feminine, okay? Now, when we're talking about divine feminine energy here, we're talking about the energy period, okay? So for my masculines, you also hold this energy within you, and this is why we're breaking it down this way, okay? It is nurturing, okay? Shows compassion, all right? Inner knowing. Now, when it comes to inner knowing, why would we associate inner knowing with divine feminine energy? What would inner knowing have to do with divine feminine energy? And I want you to think of it on a biological level when it comes to the body. Thank you for the heart meet. Remember to get y'all daily heart meets as well. Why would inner knowing be associated with divine feminine energy? Feel free to take a guess. Let's see if anybody can get it. Intuition. So intuition definitely plays a part in it. But I want you to think more based on the physical body. Being a mother, okay, that's in the realm of it. Not exactly the answer. Gut feeling, that's in the realm of it. Not exactly the answer. Emotional intimacy, okay. So when it comes to inner knowing, a lot of it based on the divine feminine and why it's associated with the divine feminine. Yes, it has a lot to do with intuition, but it's also about DNA. Now, what do we know about DNA and how it passes down things through time, through generations, right? DNA doesn't just hold information based on the physical body and the things that are physically going on. It also holds information based on past experiences that have to do with that particular bloodline. So, for example, for my melanated people, based on what we went through years ago, if we're looking at slavery, or even if we're looking at way before that, when it comes to ancient Kemet, or who we were as a people prior to a lot of the hardships that we began to endure and deal with, right? We know that our genetics holds a lot of that information. A lot of that stuff was stored in our genetics. So this is why, for example, when we start to get back into connection with the spiritual realm as spiritual people, and we start to do our shadow work and all of those different things, this is why it seems like some of the information that you're coming back into, it doesn't feel new necessarily, right? It kind of just seems like, oh, this is something that is kind of sparking a memory, right? This is something that I'm relearning rather than learning for the first time. And this is for my masculine and my feminine beings, okay? Whether you're a masculine or feminine being, when you have that DNA, right, and that information in your DNA, thank you, Marion. When you have that information stored in your DNA and you start to get aligned with your path, it's more so like you're waking up what's going on, right? You're waking up what was once dormant in that DNA. Does that make sense? Everybody following so far? Okay? So inner knowing when it comes to the feminine is because the mother carries the child, which means all of the DNA, thank you for the gift, my love, is stored within the mother's genetics, right? So we're literally passing information from womb to womb to womb to womb to womb. This is another reason why melanated women are under so much attack when it comes to the health industry, when it comes to hospitals, when it comes to giving birth, right? When it comes to coming up missing and having organs be removed from bodies and different things like that, right? It all ties together. And just like I tell you all the time, everything is connected. Excuse me. Our job as spiritual beings is to basically connect the dots, to do the work, to tap in intuitively, follow our intuition to whatever the answers are, right? So that we can connect the dots and figure out exactly what's going on, so that then we can work to stop it or overturn the bullshit. Okay? Period. All right. So we have inner knowing. We also have rest. Rest is such an important feminine energy. Okay? Thank you for the gifts, Kira. I appreciate it, my love. Rest is such an important feminine energy. Okay? Resting yourself, resting your body, resting your mind, resting your soul, so on and so forth. All right? We have emotional expression. Emotional expression. So when it comes to expressing yourself from an emotional standpoint, this is why sometimes for certain divine masculines, if they're not tapped into their feminine energy, which helps you with emotional expression, then we kind of have that argument of men are logical and women are emotional. That's not necessarily true. Men may have more logical traits, But when they tap into their divine feminine, they're able to communicate on an emotional level, right? So it's not that they're not able to, it's not that they're programmed not to, right? It's just the simple fact that they have to tap into that energy a little bit more intensively than a woman does, because we kind of already coming into this realm with more of this together. However, you will run into a lot of women who do not know how to express themselves emotionally. And that's usually because they're too far in their masculine energy and not, solidified enough in their feminine energy. So this is why I say this applies to both sides of the coin. Okay? Nobody is getting away with nothing today. Everybody is going to get some of this, because it affects us all equally. Okay? Another one that I'm going to put is magnetic. Divine feminine energy is very magnetic. Okay? When you think about how not only are men kind of wired in a way to find, and I don't want to say chase, but to find and pursue the divine feminine, there's also other women who are magnetized, right, toward other divine feminines, because it's just simply the energy within your divine feminine is almost like a pull, right? The divine feminine also shows up as a portal. And if you think about a portal, the closer that you get to it, it kind of sucks you in. It kind of pulls you in, right? And that's kind of how this energy is. This is why when you are balanced in your divine feminine energy, you kind of realize how everybody wants to be around you, how everybody wants to talk to you, how everybody wants to get to know you. They want to be your friend, they want to be your boyfriend, your husband, they want to be your girlfriend, whatever the case may be, right? Because when you're tapped into that energy and you're balanced in that energy, you almost have this pull on you, right? A lot of people may think that it has something to do, or has more to do with your looks and your appearance, but that's just not true. Yes, you can be attractive, and yes, attractiveness does pull people in, of course, okay? We live in on earth, okay? Obviously. However, your energy, right? INNER, your energy speaks a lot louder than your hold on, y'all, give me a second. Okay, had to block somebody. Your energy speaks a lot louder than your physical appearance. Point blank, period. This is also why sometimes women and men can attest to this. When you go out in public and you probably like, I look crazy, I got on a bonnet, or I got my hair wrapped up, or I got on some beat up clothes real fast, I was just running out to the store, or whatever. That is the time where more people want to actually talk to you and be around you and get to know you and get your number or ask you out, or whatever the case is. It just seems like people are more magnetized towards you. Like they really want to be in your face more than anything. And a lot of us be confused, like, I look crazy as hell, you know what I'm saying? My clothes look crazy, I just threw on some shit, I got a hole in my sock, and this is this and this is that. Why would people even want to talk to me right now? It has nothing to do with your actual appearance, your physical appearance. Your energy is speaking at that point, because you're at your most balanced, and you're at a place where you're not really trying. So you're at your most authentic. I'm gonna say it like that. Okay? So our divine feminine is our yin energy, ruled by the moon. Okay? Represents intuition, emotion, creativity, nurturing, compassion, inner knowing, rest, emotional expression, and it is magnetic energy. Okay? Everybody got this? I'm going to give y'all a moment to screenshot, and then I'm going to use the other side of the board, and we're going to quickly get into masculine And then we're going to get into what both of these energies look like when they are not balanced. All right, everybody good on this? I'm going to do a complete review once I finish the masculine side as well. I'm going to review the whole board. I just want to make sure y'all got this first. All right, so let's move on to masculine energy. All right, so our divine masculine. All right. So, if our divine feminine was yin, then our divine masculine is obviously yang. Okay? If our divine feminine is ruled by the moon, then our divine masculine is ruled by what? What energy will we associate with masculine energy? Good job. The sun, absolutely. Okay? The sun. All right? So, masculine traits. We have logic, of course. Structure. Obviously. Leadership. Discipline. Protection. Providing. Action. Movement. Confidence. And boundaries. Now, with these couple of adjectives for divine masculine energy, does this make sense based on when we think of masculine energy? Are these some of the things that we kind of associate with that? Good. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So, as we said, one of the first characteristics that we use when it comes to divine feminine energy was intuition. So one of the first ones that we use when it comes to divine masculine is logic. Now, one thing about intuition versus logic, intuition is happening from a spiritual space, right? When we're thinking about the divine feminine, we're thinking about the connection to the spiritual realm, right? A divine feminine is the closest personification that we have to spiritual energy, right? If you think about if the cosmos was to turn into a person, it would show up as a divine feminine. Point blank period, right? Because it is a representation of spiritual essence, right? Whereas the divine masculine is more of a representation of what happens here on the 3D, right? Physical, okay? So the intuition is on a spiritual space, whereas logic is based on reality here in this particular realm, right? What can I see? What can I touch? What can I taste? What can I feel? You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth, right? It's also based on, again, logic, which means more so the physical human brain, human thought process. Whereas intuition is based on third eye, spiritual brain, spiritual thought process. We understand that? Everybody clear on that point? Okay? Now, masculine energy also represents structure, right? If the feminine energy is creativity and it's cultivating all of these things here in the spiritual realm, then the masculine energy is going to be what gets it done and brings it down to make it something physical, right? Providing that structure, right? Building, okay? If we're looking at it from an obvious standpoint, building, literally putting things together physically, okay? Leadership. Now, when we're talking about leadership, we're not talking about from a religious point of view, where the man is in control of everything and runs the household and everything under the man is blah, blah. This is not from a religious point of view, okay? We're talking about from a spiritual point of view. The divine masculine is useful when it comes to leadership because it is also associated with protection, right? So the divine masculine, the divine feminine is in charge of protection from a spiritual standpoint, right? Protecting within the spiritual realm. This is why when you think of the divine feminine, or if you think about religion or spirituality, it is usually a divine feminine that led you to that space, right? When you think about, who you would go to pray for you, or to make sure that you're good and take care of you when it comes to your soul, you think of a divine feminine, right? But when you think about, okay, something is physically going on, there is a literal threat, right? You're not thinking about a divine feminine. You think, I'm gonna call my daddy, I'm gonna call my brother, I'm gonna call my uncle. You know what I'm saying? You're not thinking about that. Or, for example, for my women, when you go out in public with your man or your significant other, or even with the men in your family, you don't really think about the same things that they're thinking about. And my men in the comments, feel free to attest to this. When a man is out in public, they're thinking about exits. They're thinking about how we going to get this, how we going to make sure we cross the street safely, where are all the cars, where's the entrance and the exit to the building, how are we going to make sure that this is taken care of, how this is going to happen, blah, 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 how I'm going to make sure that we get back home safe, so on and so forth, right? And women, we just think about what we going to eat, what's on the menu, you know what I'm saying? We're not really thinking about a lot of the security things and the protective things that a man is automatically wired and programmed to think about. Now, you do have some, divine feminines who do think like that, but it's usually because they were taught by a divine masculine to think in that manner, or they encountered some type of situation or trauma that pushed them into a masculine space where now they have to be their own protection. Does that make sense? So it's not really a natural thing for a woman to automatically be thinking about protection, automatically just off the bat, right? Just coming into life, being born as a little girl, you're not automatically thinking about certain things like that, right? But a little boy coming into the world automatically is wired to kind of start thinking about safety and security. Okay? So when we're talking about leadership, we're not talking about a man bossing you around and telling you what to do and making you feel inferior and saying, I run this shit and I'm the man in the household and blah, 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 all that other stuff. Okay? But we're talking more so about a man guiding you through certain parts of life to ensure your safety and to ensure the productivity of our life and our lifestyle, right? Which also leads into discipline, protection, and providing. Okay? Men are a lot more disciplined than we tend to understand or understand as divine feminines. Okay? They live a completely different world that requires them to be a lot more locked in areas where we as women aren't really as locked in. Okay? And we're not just talking about when it comes to sex. I don't want you to start thinking about how your ex couldn't discipline himself and keep his penis in his pants. That's not what we're talking about. Okay? So this is not a time for bitter, people drama. Okay? We're talking from a spiritual standpoint. Okay? From a higher place. All right? Men are easily more disciplined. Period. Right? Because they operate in logic. So for a man, 1 + 1 = 2. If I have a goal and I need to meet this goal, there's certain things that I got to do, and this is what it is. They're going to lay it out. I got to do this, and that, and that's what it is. And they're going to get it done. Whereas women, because we are more emotional, because we are more intuitive, our energy is not as contained, which means we find ourselves kind of being over here, kind of being over there, kind of being over here, kind of being over there, depending on where we are, depending on our mood, depending on our hormones, depending on what we got going on. There's more factors that go into us keeping our mind focused on certain things, right? Whereas a man, his whole life could be burning up, and he's still going to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to work. You know what I'm saying? It just is. It is what it is. He's still going to make it to the gym. He's still going to work that 14, 17-hour shift. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Whereas for divine feminine, we might call out. We might can't do it. Well, if we do make it to work, you know what I'm saying? We might be too stressed out to focus. We may have too many things going on, you know what I'm saying, to focus. You know what I'm saying? White men do this. I can't say that for black men. Well, you don't need to be here, because we don't even entertain stuff like that over here. This is not I don't do that. I don't play that. Okay? I don't play that. I rep black men 24/7, 365. I don't even play like that. Because we all got issues. Black women got issues. Black men got issues. We all fucked up. We're all fucked up. So what we're not going to do is create I'm not going to spread the divide even more. Okay? Yeah, facts don't care about feelings. And the facts are, black men are fucked up just as well as black women are fucked up. Those are the facts. You said you want to deal with facts, so let's deal with facts. Because right now it sounds like you're speaking from pain. Now, we didn't all have pain based on the opposite sex. Okay? We didn't all have pain based on the opposite sex. We're not going to do that. Poca don't do that. Because the same way I can go down the line and talk about every single thing that's wrong with a black man, I can turn this board around and give you even more on a black woman. So we're not going to do that. Not here. Not here. And those are facts. Those are facts. Okay? We don't do that. I don't entertain divisiveness here. Not, but we already separated enough. I'm not one of them spiritualists that's going to sit here and be like, yeah, black men. No. We both fucked up and we both need help. And if we can stop pointing the finger at each other and focus on ourselves, we'll get somewhere. Huh? I don't play that over here. It's not tolerated. It won't be no black man slander. Won't be no black woman slander. We're not slandering nobody. Okay? So keep your comments to yourself, or you can exit, or I can help you exit. Either way, we're not doing that. Not over here. Okay? So take you and your hurt feelings somewhere the fuck else. We all hurt. We all hurt. We got a history of hurt and pain in this motherfucker. Alright? We got a history of hurt and pain. On both sides. We both been fucked over by people outside of our goddamn community. So what we're not going to do is turn on each other when we need each other the most. Not over here. You're not going to do that. Thank you very much. Anyways, moving on. Because what the fuck she thought this was? What? Mish, what she thought it was, boo? The verses is here because we're talking about energies, not beings. So I'm talking about the differences between the two. We're not talking about male versus female. We're talking about masculine energy versus feminine energy, which both male and female possess. Okay? Stay with me. This is not a divisive live. Okay? Everybody cool? Everybody good? Man, I got y'all back. Ain't nobody gonna play with y'all, not over here. I don't even play like that. Yes, exactly. One and the other, not competition. Exactly. We good. Alright, I don't want to have to Gemini now. Hello. Alright, good. Now, what were we? Discipline. Amen? Alright, so what we were talking about is how it is easier for men to stay more disciplined. The divine masculine energy is created to be easily more disciplined than the divine feminine. Okay? Now, because we hold both of these energies within our being, at any point you can tap into this as the divine feminine and use it to your advantage. And that's what we're talking about today. That's the point of this, right? Whatever side you feel like you don't have enough of, or you're not tapped in enough in regard to, we're going to give you what you need to do to make sure that you're tapping into that. All right? Protection. Now, we covered protection just briefly a little bit. When it comes to protection, the divine masculine energy is known to be the protector side. Right? So, for example, as a divine feminine, if you go through an experience that causes you some type of trauma, right? And you have to protect yourself. Okay? Now, after you protect yourself, it can be years down the line, but because you have that trauma and you're triggered based on that trauma, anytime you're triggered, that masculine energy within you is going to stand up because it is the protector. Y'all see how it can apply to both? Right? For my divine masculines or for my masculine beings, because you already are a natural protector, right? You already kind of possess that. But when you add on trauma, you're taking this completely to hell, okay? Which means that you're withdrawing yourself more from your feminine side. And this is when we see our men become violent. So there's a difference between protecting and then being violent. Y'all see how a simple experience can tweak it a little bit too much and put you into a whole nother energy and cast you into some whole other shit. Okay? So we don't want y'all to be violent. We want you to be protectors. There's a difference. Right? Protectors protect when they need to. Volatile people just be violent just because. Because they triggered. You know what I'm saying? Providing. To provide is more of a masculine energy. Even when it comes to working. Working within itself is more of a masculine energy. This is not to say that divine feminines cannot work. This is not to say that divine feminines cannot provide. But when as a divine feminine, when we do go out into the workforce, if you think about it, you're more in a masculine energy than you are a feminine energy. I don't care what it is that you do. You could work at a front desk and just take calls all day. But you have to put yourself almost in a masculine energy to be able to exist throughout that workday, because it's not your natural energy. Right? It doesn't mean that you have to be a stay-at-home mom. It doesn't mean that you can't have a business and do things for yourself. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that to work, to take action, right? Because work would be action. within itself is a masculine energy, right? So the goal is, as a divine feminine, to balance your feminine energy and your masculine energy when you're in the workforce, which is hard to do if you always got to be on defense, right? If we were, let's say, 100 years ago, maybe 200 years ago, where women were able to create, because remember, creativity is a divine feminine quality, right? So when we were able to just operate in our gifts, whether that was painting, drawing, making clothes, gardening, cooking, whatever, okay, but whatever the gift was, right? When you were able to do that, the environment was more conducive to you, where you didn't have to be on guard in order to operate in your gift. Now, when we think about the workforce, that shit is hectic. Like I said, you can work a basic ass job and be doing some low key ass shit, and it's still stressful as hell, right? You dealing with people with nasty ass attitudes. You got nasty ass supervisors and managers and bosses and CEOs and all types of shit, okay? You got all types of energies that people are just throwing around the damn office or wherever you work at, especially if you work in customer service, because the energy is so fucked up that everybody is having a bad day. So then they call in your damn desk and they want to cuss you out, and you ain't did shit. You didn't even know this motherfucker, okay? All of these different things based on the environment is causing you to forcefully be in a masculine energy, which means that you're on guard 90% of the day, right? And the only time that you're able to kind of take a breather and woosah is when you go to sleep. And we know that rest, going back to the other side of this board, and I'm going to do a whole review of the board in a second, rest is a feminine energy. Resting, because masculine energy is action. So the opposite of action will be rest. So the only time a lot of us as, feminines get a break to just chill and just woosah, it's when we sleep or in the bed to go to sleep. And that don't last long, because it depends on what goddamn time you go to sleep. And then you got to get up the next day and start all over again. Right? This is why a lot of our feminines are stuck in survival mode, which is a masculine energy, because you're focused on protecting yourself, and then you're focused on providing for yourself. So you got to be in this masculine hustler, hungry for the money type of energy, right? Because you got to pay your bills. You got kids to feed. You know what I'm saying? You got a car note. You got gas and electric. You got all these different things going on, so you can't operate in the fullness of your divine feminine energy because you have all of these responsibilities knocking at your door. Okay? So that takes care of action. Now, also when it comes to action, you'll realize, thank you, my love, for the gift. I appreciate you. You'll realize that masculines are the least afraid to jump out there and just do shit, period. Right? Because they're ruled by the sun, and they have the natural ability to take action. So this is why we kind of look at the world and we see that a lot more men are successful in certain areas of life. It's not because they're necessarily better than you, or their ideas are better than you, or nothing like that, right? It's more so because they're logical. So it's easy for them to weigh out their options. Either I can sit here and be pussy, or I can do what I need to do and make this money. Do what I need to do and get this success, right? Rather than the divine feminine, because we operate in a spiritual space and we're based on intuition and we're based on emotion and all of these different things, there's so many other things that we kind of think about that cause us to feel a little stagnant or cause us to procrastinate. Not only that, but if we go back to inner knowing, because we pass down the genetic material, right? We're passing down the information, which means we hold the information and the information is stored within us. If there was a divine feminine, in our lineage that came before us that was fearful, that energy is passed down, and now we're carrying it in our wombs. So this is why when we do healing, when we do shadow work, it is so important to make sure that you're going over childhood trauma healing, generational curses, things of that nature, because you're almost scraping all of the bullshit from your womb, from your genetic material, and rewriting it so that when you do have children, you can pass down something else that they don't have to take from that's negative, right? So it's a little bit more difficult for the divine feminine to get a good fresh start, because we're carrying not only our shit, but we're also carrying things from bloodlines way before us that don't got shit to do with us. Okay? It's a lot that goes into, you know, what we're kind of dealing with as divine feminines that can cause us to be stagnant, that can cause us to procrastinate, that can cause us to be doubtful of ourselves. Okay? Does that make sense? So the divine masculines are a lot more action oriented, and they're a lot less afraid to go out there and just make it happen. Okay? Movement, right? When it comes to movement, when it comes to realizing that this certain thing is not working, I'm going to move on to, you know, something else. This particular job is not working, I'm gonna quit this job and start this business. Or this particular thing is not doing it for me, I'm gonna go over here and do that, right? Men are easier to kind of pick up and move based on what needs to happen, going back to logic, going back to action. Whereas divine feminines, thank you, my love, for the gift, I appreciate it. Whereas divine feminines, again, because we're emotional, because we are intuitive, because we are a lot of a more family-oriented, compassionate type of energy, we are not so quick to move. Also, because we are creatives, we feel like we can navigate certain things, turn certain things into something else, rewrite it, fix it. You know what I'm saying? We're willing to invest more time into something that's not working, rather than a divine masculine that's going to look at that shit and be like, I'm not putting no more time in this. This is not working. What else is there to think about? 1 + 1 = 2. This shit is not working. Let's move the fuck on. Okay? Let's go to something else. Whereas a divine feminine might look at it and be like, but I feel like I can fix it. But if I love it enough, I feel like I can do something with it. But I feel like I have some ideas that can help. And that can, you know, whatever. Which sometimes can work, but sometimes it don't. Right? So knowing when to take action and to move away from something comes from the wisdom of the divine masculine energy. And we as divine feminines have to tap into that energy so that we know when to move. This also leads to protection. Sometimes movement is protection. Getting the fuck out the way sometimes is protection to you. Leaving some shit behind sometimes is protection. Right? So all of that is associated with divine masculine energy, which we have within ourselves as divine feminines. We just got to wake it up. We just got to wake it up, and we got to balance it out. Okay? Confidence. Thank you, my love. I appreciate it. Confidence is a masculine energy. When you think about the sun, right? The sun is very bold. Right? The sun is in your face. It's going to shine all in your motherfucking eyeballs. It's going to burn your ass up. Okay? It's going to be hot as shit. It don't give a fuck. It's going to be in your face. Yeah, I'm the sun. Yeah, what's that? Right? When you think about the moon only comes out at night when it's dark. Okay? The moon is like, is it dark yet? Is the coast clear yet? You know what I'm saying? Thank you, my love, for the gift. Can I come outside now? Right? The moon is emotional. It's going through different phases. Sometimes it shows itself. Sometimes it don't. It just goes dark completely. That's when we get a new moon. You can't even see that motherfucker. It's dark. Whole face is dark. Ain't no glow. Ain't no light in sight. You know what I'm saying? Very behind closed doors. Very low key. Very can't see it for real. Right? When we think about the spiritual realm, because we are half of a physical being, right? We can't see things with our physical eye when it comes to the spiritual realm. right? So there's energies all around us 24/7. There's shit going on all around us 24/7, but we can't see it with our physical eye because it's on a spiritual frequency. It's on a higher frequency, just like the moon. Sometimes the moon is not seen, sometimes it is, because it's a more spiritual frequency versus the sun. The sun is like, bitch, you gonna see me. Yeah, I'm right here. What's up? Yeah, what's up? What's up with it? In your face. Unapologetic. I'm here. What's going on? Right? That's kind of the difference between also masculine and feminine energy. Masculines are more prone to operate in confidence. When you think about social anxiety, there's more women that have social anxiety than men. If you think about male friendships, and men, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Men can become friends with the most random ass people at the most random ass times over the most random ass shit, and they can be locked in forever. They'd meet a motherfucker in the line at the grocery store and get to talking about some shit. They exchange numbers on Instagrams, and then all of a sudden they asses his friends, and now he inviting this motherfucker to be his best man at his wedding. It don't take them no fucking time, right? Because they operate in the confidence. They don't give a fuck. Some are more reserved, but overall, it's more common for a man to be outspoken and, you know, just kind of just navigating this motherfucker like, yeah, I'm here. What's up? This is what it is. Blah, 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 blah. Hello, how you doing? My name is whoever, whatever, whatever. Versus women, divine feminines, because we are more intuitive, because we are more emotional, right? Because we see things through a spiritual eye, we watching from a whole different perspective, which sometimes can cause us to be more retracted. We not as open, because we like, I don't know what's going on with that person's energy. You know what I'm saying? They ain't open their mouth and say nothing to me, but the vibe. Something about the vibe is off. Or we can walk into a space and be like, this environment is a little weird. There's something a little strange in here, and I'm ready to go. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want nobody talking to me. Simple as that. Right? I'm not having the best day. Maybe some things happen at work. Maybe I'm stressed. Maybe the kids is doing something crazy. I just got shit going on. I don't want to introduce myself to nobody. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me. I know y'all just seen the one of the posts going viral on TikTok where a man came on here and he was like, why don't women speak anymore at the grocery stores? You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of men that was just like, bruh, that's just how I be. They don't be wanting to talk, blah, blah, blah. And all the women was like, nigga, I don't want to speak. Shit, I was just at work. I was just doing this, and that. Do you want me to come in here and say hi to you? I don't got to say hi to you. we built different. It just is what it is, okay? So when it comes to confidence, you know, men are more prone to put themselves out there, right? If you think about the animal world, the animal kingdom, right? There's usually the male species that is putting on this presentation to get the attention of the feminine species. Right? If you think about a peacock has all those beautiful flowers for the ladies. It's not because they want to be cute. The male peacocks are the ones that have all the pretty flowers. And what do they do when they see something they like? They open I said flowers, I mean feathers. They open up they damn tail and they shimmy that thing. And all the motherfucking colors just be shaking and shimmying and glistening and shit. And they doing it to get the attention of the woman. Right? If you look at certain bird species, they'll have certain colors and certain dances and certain things that they do to get the attention of the woman. Right? If you look at certain big cats, right? Lions, I know lions do it for sure, where the males will fight each other in front of that lady. So that lady will let them get a little piece of that thing. So they can mate and have some cubs, have some Simbas running around this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Mufasa and Scar out there fighting to the last thing, so they can have a little Simba and Nala running around this house, right? So they're wired not only to be confident in order to create connections, in order to create opportunities, going back to providing, right? Because you need to be confident if you're going to provide. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some level of confidence if you're going to go out here in the workforce and make some shit happen and get you a job, right? Be able to provide and do what you need to do and make connections with other men, with opportunities, so on and so forth, right? But it's also to mate. They got to be confident so they can roll up on you. Because I still believe that men should be approaching women when it comes to dating and mating. Now, sometimes in some circumstances, maybe the woman might see you first and you ain't see her yet. Thank you, my love, right? But I believe that men need to go back to approaching women. And women, stop being so goddamn mean when these men approach you. If you're not interested, just say you're not interested. And men, going back to protection versus being volatile. If somebody don't want to give you their number, they don't want to give you their number. It's no reason why women should be afraid to give out their goddamn contact information or to withhold it because they fearful for their goddamn lives. Because it's some of y'all out here losing y'all mind because somebody don't want to give you they 10 digits. Or is it 9, 10, however many. They don't want to give it to you. What the hell is going on out here? Women be nicer, men be more understanding, and you be nicer too. It's crazy. Now, if a man is approaching you and he's nice and he's understanding, be nice to that man. You don't gotta be rude. You know? And men, no means no. See how I hold both sides accountable? No means fucking no. All right? Cool. Boundaries. This goes back to protection. Holding your boundaries, standing on your boundaries is a masculine energy. Because it goes back to protection, protecting yourself, protecting your space, protecting your energy. Right? Divine feminines, sometimes because we are more emotional, we don't stick to our boundaries as much as we should. And this is why we find ourselves in certain situations later on down the line, dealing with certain shit later on down the line. Because no should have meant no. And whatever our standards were, we should have stuck to them. Instead of, again, because we are creatives, trying to figure out a way to make it better and fix it and all of that. No. Stick to your motherfucking boundaries. Men are more likely to stick to their boundaries. Simple as that. A lot of men operate off of principle or male code, right? Certain shit they just don't tolerate. Certain shit just is what it is. Whereas as divine feminines, we give a lot of excuses and a lot of chances and things like that because we operate off of emotion and compassion, right? Understanding. Okay, I'm going to show y'all the whole board in a second. Once I finish this, I'm gonna show the whole board and do a quick review before we move on to the next thing, okay? So, holding your boundaries, right? Standing on your boundaries goes back into masculine energy, and it is divinely connected to protection and discipline. Because the hold to some shit that you said and some boundaries that you established, thank you for the heart me. Remember to get y'all daily heart me's as well. To stick to that shit takes discipline. Okay? It's usually the woman breaking no contact. Not saying that men don't do it either. But it's usually the divine feminines breaking that no contact. You said you wasn't going to deal with this. You said you was done with that motherfucker. You said you weren't tolerating this, and that no more. And then you let that shit slide. And all of a sudden, I'm outside, open the door. And you just walking your ass to the door. Thank you, my love. Thank y'all for the gifts. You know what I'm saying? Now, men do the shit sometimes too. Now, we not going to act like that. But it's usually because they're in their feminine energy and they're operating out of manipulation. Okay? Emotional manipulation. All right? So let's do a quick review of the Oh Lord. Before y'all beat me up, I don't want no smoke with nobody. You feel me? Okay, cool. Let's see. Please don't request to join this live. That's not the type of live that we're doing today. All right? Thank you for the gifts, my love. I appreciate it. All right, so we got our divine feminine energy, which is our yin energy. Now, mind you, when we say yin and yang, yin comes first. We don't say yang and yin. We say yin and yang. Because divine feminine energy is what births everything. That's where everything comes from. Okay? So we always start with yin. Now, moving more into the Western world, okay, they've had us focus on this first. And ever since we put this first, we kind of been a little fucked up. All right, no tea, no shade. Thank you, Marianne. I appreciate it. Okay? The reason behind that is you start with the creator, not the creation. Okay? You said kinda. Okay, we went all the way fucked up. Y'all are so funny these comments. Thank you, my love. So, dealing with feminine energy, right? Feminine energy comes first. It is the creator. Everything comes from feminine energy. If we think back to, for most of us Black Americans, we are American Indians, right? And if you go and you research American Indians, a lot of their tribes were matriarchies, right? When we got more into the Western world, everything became patriarchal to throw us off energetically. Now, understand that me saying this does not take away the significance of the divine masculine. It doesn't mean that they're beneath us. It doesn't mean that they're below us. It doesn't mean that they ain't shit. It don't mean none of that things. It don't mean that you need to start looking at men and be like, yeah, nigga, I came first. No, that's not what that means. Okay? But we're just talking about when it comes to spiritual hierarchy, the feminine energy comes first. Right? They just literally have finally started to talk about the science where the egg chooses the sperm and not the sperm choosing the egg. Right? The egg only softens its shell to let one sperm in, and is based on the sperm that it wants. If you don't believe me, just go do a little research. Okay? This is not an ego show. Don't get in your ego, because the sun is also known for ego. We're not here to be an ego. We're here to be balanced. All right? Just go do the research. Go do your studies. Don't beat me up. We're talking about facts, not feelings here. All right? The egg softens its shell to let one sperm in, and that is the sperm of its choice. Right? As well as the fact that every divine feminine is born with all of their eggs, which means that all of those energies have been already selected. Whereas males don't get their sperms until later on in their developmental stages. So, as the divine feminine, when you were inside of your mom, you already had your eggs. Before you came into this world and took your first breath, you already was carrying the next generation within your baby womb as the divine feminine. Also, not to mention that every single egg is feminine until later on in the developmental stages while it's in the womb. Every egg is a feminine egg. This is why they don't check the sex of the baby once you find out you're pregnant. You got to be a certain amount of months. What is it, ladies? 4 months, 3 months, 4 months before you can determine what the sex of that baby is. Because if they was to test you anytime before that, it's going to automatically be a girl. 4 months. Okay, thank you. Right? So the divine feminine came first. It's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. That's just the facts. Again, this does not mean that the divine masculine does not have a purpose. This doesn't mean that the divine masculine is not significant. This doesn't mean that we do not need the divine masculine. That's not what I'm talking about. That's never what I'm going to preach. We need each other to survive. I need you. You need me. We're all part of God's family. Okay? We need each other. That's just that on that. Okay? However, the divine feminine energy does come first. Right? And when we talk about putting the divine feminine energy back where she belongs, we're talking about reverencing that energy for what it is as the creator, as the connection to the spiritual realm. Right? As our portal between worlds. This is why, thank y'all for the gifts, I appreciate you. This is why it is so important, divine feminines, to get your ass healed. Because you can't be talking about, I'm a divine feminine and not da-da-da-da-da-da, and you out here causing problems, issues, and ruckus. You can't take your rightful place and you not be together. So this is why healing is important for both sides. And it is especially important for the divine feminine. Because not only does the divine feminine have this type of status in the hierarchy, but the divine feminine is also responsible for the generations to come. So they always say a nation cannot rise higher than its woman. If the woman is fucked up, the nation gonna be fucked up. Hello. The reason why the world is starting to transform in the way that it is now is because a lot of divine feminines are starting to wake the fuck up and work on themselves and get back to taking their rightful place. That's why we're starting to see Mother Earth, because Mother Earth, Gaia, whatever you want to call her, is a physical representation of yin energy. She is the physical representation of divine feminine energy. And she basically feeds off of what we are doing as a divine feminine. So if we're over here lollygagging and fucked up and passing down hate and negativity to our children and out here shaking ass and popping pussy everywhere and worried about all this bullshit, that's why the status of the world was in the status it was in. Now that you see, not everybody, but you see a lot more women starting to wake the fuck up, do the things that they need to do as far as healing, working on themselves. Look at how the world is transforming. Exactly. Yes, we were originally matriarchal. Absolutely. Thank you, my love. Right? We see that things are transforming. We see that Mother Earth is starting to heal herself. Because it's feeding off of the energy that we're putting out as divine feminines. And then, because the divine masculines are doing what they're supposed to do, the sun works in relation to Mother Earth. That's why it's getting hotter than a bitch out here. What does heat do? What does heat do to bacteria and viruses and things that are not good for an ecosystem? So the heat is going to take out anything that does not serve, again, protection, that does not serve the highest good of the environment. So when you look at these qualities emotional, creativity, nurturing, compassion, inner knowing, rest, emotional expression, magnetic. We can take all of those qualities and apply it to Mother Earth. Right? We can take all those qualities and apply it right to Mother Earth. If we think about the sun, logic, structure, leadership, discipline, protection, providing, action, movement, confidence, boundaries. We can take all these qualities and apply it to the actual sun. The sun and the earth are working together, right, to heal the environment. So a lot of people that are complaining about the heat, and I'm not talking about us just saying, damn, it's hot as shit. I'm talking about people who are having heat strokes, who are being unalived, right? We talking about these certain countries who played a huge role in the negativity of the world, now dealing with record-breaking heat waves. Okay? We're talking about Antarctica melting. The ice caps are melting. The icebergs are melting. What's on the other side of that ice? You follow me? So when we're talking about divine masculine and divine feminine energy, we're not just talking about physical beings. We're talking about the energy, and that energy is everywhere around us. And that's how you got to look at it. You can't just look at it as a person. Of course, we as people have both energies, right? But the energy is also around us. And somebody said in the comments, well, I don't see the world getting better. Well, you're not paying attention then. This is a spiritual thing. You got to pay more attention. You got to be tapped in a little bit more. Okay? Now remember, this is the beginning stages of change. So you're not going to see it super, super clear and in your face right now, because it's just beginning. Right? A lot of this stuff is just now coming to the surface. A lot of these things are just now being established, just now changing. Right? So it's going to take some time. But it's happening. Okay? It's happening. Before it gets better, you have to unalive off what's unaliving it. Exactly. Right? So removing the bacteria, removing the things that are destroying the very environment or ecosystem that we need to thrive. And that's what we see happening. Okay? Not only that, but if you pay attention to astrology right now, a lot of the astrological events that are happening, even the planets, have masculine and feminine energies. There's certain planets that are masculine, there's certain planets that are feminine. Right? There's certain zodiac signs that are masculine, there's some zodiac signs that are feminine. Right? So when we have these different planets working with these different zodiac signs, that's also kind of creating a certain energy based on what those planets and what that zodiac sign represents. And when those two things team up together, they are pushing out a certain energy that is also adding to what's happening here. Okay? Yes, Leo is masculine. Absolutely. Leo is ruled by the sun. It is for sure masculine. For sure. 100,000%. Yes. Okay? That's another thing. If you have a masculine sun sign and you a divine feminine, you got to focus on really balancing. You got to really focus on your balance. Okay? Taurus is a feminine energy. It's ruled by Venus. Venus is a feminine planet. All right, so we got the yin. We got divine feminine being represented by the moon. Okay, the moon is feminine energy. Right now, we're in the sign of Cancer. Now, do we think Cancer is a masculine or a feminine energy? I want you to think about the qualities of Cancer. No tea, no shade, Cancers. I love y'all. But baby, Cancers are feminine. For sure, 100%. Okay, 100,000%. And they're represented by the moon, so they're for sure feminine. Okay. So right now, we're in a feminine energy. Now, if you take that and you say, okay, how is this affecting me? How have I been affected over the last, because we're about to move into Leo energy by this weekend. So over the last, I'll say 4 weeks, since the end of June, how have you been feeling? Most of us have been feeling what? Emotional, very creative, like lots of ideas coming to the surface. You know what I'm saying? Lots of things that we want to do, and new ways of being, and new ideas to do this, and that. Right? Feeling more nurturing to yourself, maybe your family, maybe people around you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the heartbeat. Being more compassionate to yourself, to your family, to the people around you. Having that inner knowing, intuition on 1,000 million, 100. Right? See how all these things come together? Resting. I'm sure a lot of y'all been sleeping. Okay? You either been sleeping or napping. Okay? Going to bed a little earlier. Staying asleep a little longer. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Just tired. Can't do some of the things that you used to do. Having to take some time for yourself. Emotional expression. Okay, a lot of you may be forced to deal with certain emotions. A lot of you guys may also be taking a new approach to the way that you express yourself emotionally. So whereas maybe before you'll be yelling and cussing a motherfucker out and, you know, doing all this other shit, now you kind of like, look, this is what it is. This how I feel. This, you know, it is what it is. I just want to talk. Or even the emotional expression is, I don't want to talk. I'm tired of talking. I'm not going to cuss you out. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to keep repeating the same thing all over and over. I'm just not talking no more. You know what I'm saying? No more talking. I don't want to talk anymore. I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to rest my throat chakra. Hello? All right? And then more magnetic, right? A lot of people being attracted to you. Thank you, my love, for the roses. A lot of people want to talk to you, want to know your name, okay? Some of y'all could be getting a lot of offers when it comes to relationships. People want to date you or get your number or take you out or, you know what I'm saying, all types of shit. They liking your posts, they following you, they commenting. Some of y'all going viral. You know what I'm saying? Your energy is just magnetic. People just, you know, want to give you compliments and pay for shit and give you money and take care of your meal or something. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in a feminine ruled energy, and we're right now under the influence of the moon. So that energy is even more heightened. Okay? Then of course we got our other side, our yang energy, our sun energy, dealing with our masculine. This is the energy we're going to be feeling by the time we enter Leo season. Right? So you're going to be more logical, which means you're going to take more action. If a lot of y'all have been scared and kind of procrastinating and stuff, you're going to be taking some more action when we get in Leo. Leo, one thing about Leo, baby, they ain't going to sit around for shit. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it and I'm going to get it done. They don't have no problem being front and center stage. All eyes can be on them, and they don't care because sometimes they prefer it that way. Yeah, bitch, look at me. I'm cute, ain't I? Scorpio is feminine energy. So you're going to be more logical. You have a chance to be more structured. Thank you, my Keon, baby. I appreciate you, my love. Be more logical, be more structured. Not afraid of leadership. So during Leo season, some of you guys may get positions of leadership. Promotions, right? New job placements. Some of you might just take the initiative to just leave that motherfucking job. Like, you know what, ho? Enough is enough. I've had it. I've had it. I'm leaving. Y'all don't deserve me. Okay? More disciplined. Doing the things that you know you need to do. And because you're going to be under a sun energy with the sun sign, it's not going to be as difficult to push through as it was maybe in Cancer season. So in Cancer season, maybe you had to push yourself to be disciplined, whereas in Leo season, you're more willing naturally to be disciplined because the sun's influence is kind of beaming on you. It's like the when the light be shining on you, and you just feel the need to just like, you know what I'm saying? As melanated people, we love the summertime because that sun just energizes you. It just give you that boost that you need. It just feeds your melanin and feeds your soul. You just be ready to have a good time and just conquer the world, right? Versus when it gets colder outside and they start playing weather games and they be hiding the motherfucking sun, and then you just feel like, I don't want to do nothing, I don't want to go nowhere, I want to be in the house, I want to lay down, I want to rest. You know what I'm saying? You feel more like, ugh, yeah, right? So you're going to have that confidence to do what you need to do, to take action, to be more disciplined, right? You're not going to have a problem when it comes to protecting yourself and establishing them damn boundaries. Bitch, I said what I said. I'm not taking this no more. I'm not dealing with this no more. I'm going to cut your ass off. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Boop, 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 boop. And I said what I said, and I'm sticking to it. Simple as that. And if you got a problem with it, oh well, cry me a river, right? Providing. So this is why a lot of times when we think about Leo season, a lot of people like to associate it with the number 8 because it's the 8th month, based on the calendar, right? The Gregorian calendar. But we're spiritual beings, so we don't care about the Gregorian calendar, right? But a lot of people take August and they use August as like a very lucrative month when it comes to finances, right? But August is in fact, or Leo season is in fact the 5th zodiac, so it represents the number 5, right? And the number 5 talks about change. I just did a whole live on this yesterday. It's available on YouTube for those who want to tap into it, okay, and get more information. The number 5 talks about change, right? So this could be changes in a lot of different areas in your life, but especially when it comes to the way that you provide for yourself and the opportunities that will come in so that you can provide for yourself. So this is a great time for your moolah, okay? It's a great time for them coins to take a raise. Okay, maybe some of y'all need to just go ahead to your boss and be like, look, I need some more money. Okay, you're gonna have the confidence. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have the confidence. You're gonna have the ability to take action. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I need some more money. Y'all paying me scraps. I'm doing all of this and all of that. I need you to pay me. Period. And stand on it. 10 toes and 10 fingers. 2 feet. All right? Movement. So again, we associate Leo season and the sun governs Leo, right? So this is going to be a great season for movement. Again, things changing, right? Because the sun represents change. It represents action. It represents movement. The number 5 represents change, unexpected and expected. Right? So you're going to have to apply that logic and be like, okay, if spirit is taking me to another place, if I'm being sent to another environment, or if I'm getting this opportunity, it's because I'm deserving of this opportunity. It might be a change I didn't see coming. Like some of y'all may get an unexpected promotion. And you know, the divine feminine in you gonna be like, that's a lot of responsibility. I'm gonna have to do the blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I didn't really ask for it. I didn't really study for this. I don't know if I have the education, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? The sun is like, nigga, I gave it to you. That means you ready. And you're gonna have to have the confidence to stand on that shit. You see what I'm saying? Okay? And then we got boundaries. Sticking to them boundaries, baby. I said what I said. It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Alright, screenshot this board real fast, and then we about to get into what it looks like to be unbalanced in your feminine energy. to be overactive in your feminine energy and to be underactive in your feminine energy. And then we're going to do the same for masculines. Everybody good on this? Because I'm about to erase it. Speak now, forever hold your pieces. Thumbs up in the chat if you're good on this part. Alright, somebody said 1 sec. Okay. Alright, everybody good? We can't see the feminine. How about now? Can you see it now? Pink. All right, everybody straight? I'm about to erase this. A little more to the left. Is that good? Y'all, I'm live on Big O too, so give me a second. I want to make sure my Big O family got it. Okay, good. Cool. Alrighty then. Let's get into the next part. So far, what is this lesson out of 10? Is this hitting for y'all? Is it making sense? We getting back into our lessons throughout the week. And this was one that I haven't covered yet. So I want to make sure that, we tapped into this because this is important information. A lot of stuff we've covered already, and this is one that I haven't really touched on. Okay, good. Right on time, good. 10s. Okay, period. Period. I love that. As long as it's useful to y'all, then that means we tapped into the right shit. Okay. So, let's tap into what it looks like to be in an overactive energy as a feminine. Now, when we talking about overactive, what does overactive mean? Okay, when we talking about being overactive, what does that mean? Doing too much? Exactly. Precisely. Burnt out, oversharing. Okay? I love the doing too much. That's some black ass shit, ain't it? All the niggas say doing too much, doing the motherfucking most, girl, doing. Period. Okay. Hello. I love it. Thank you for the gifts, my loves. Overstimulated, okay. Imbalance, absolutely. Good. So overactive means that you going way too above and beyond with the shit. Okay, we're going to get to the masculine in a second. We got to do one at a time. One at a time. Be patient. Hold your horses. Okay? Overactive means, baby, you done took this shit too far. You done took it too far. Okay, calm down. All right? Thank you for the heart, me. So, characteristics of an overactive feminine energy. Overgiving. Now, if you are a divine masculine, the feminine energy within you could be overactive. So I want y'all to take it how it resonates. Over damn giving. You're giving too much, sugar. Them people don't need all that. Okay? You barely got enough for yourself. Why are you trying to give all of that shit out? You know what I'm saying? You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Enough is enough. Shit, they don't need nothing else. Let them take care of themselves. Let them fend for their damn selves. You know what I'm saying? We got overly emotional. And when we saying emotions, we're not just talking about crying. This emotions is anger, sadness, fear. Okay? You're doing too fucking much. I need you to bring it in. Bring it in. Okay? You're doing too much. Now, we know that you rule the emotions, but baby, relax. Okay? So somebody said, how do you know if you are divine feminine or divine masculine? So this is the thing. This is what I'm trying to teach here. All divine feminines and divine masculines hold divine feminine and divine masculine energy. So we all have both within us, and we have to make sure that they're balanced. Both sides have to be balanced within us. Right? So as a being, you may be a divine feminine because you are a female automatically, right? But internally, as a spiritual being, you hold divine masculine and divine feminine energy within yourself. And you got to balance those two sides out. Okay? Great question, because that can help, provide some clarity here. Everybody get it? I'm going to make sure everybody understand that. So within our singular being, we have both energies within us. Sometimes we're too far over on one side and not enough on the other side. Sometimes we're too far over on this side and not enough on the other side. So the goal here is to identify what it looks like when we are too far over in either side, and then balance that shit out. Okay? So right now we're dealing with feminine energies. When you are imbalanced in an overactive feminine energy, these are the qualities that, you will display. Overgiving, overly emotional, lacking boundaries. Just letting the motherfuckers come in and do whatever they want. Just got an open door policy. just come in, do what you want, use me up, play with me. You know what I'm saying? Come on in, take advantage. Thank you. Okay? This one that's gonna kill you. Staying in toxic cycles. Ooh. Who said that? I don't even know who said that. Did y'all hear that? I don't even know who said that. There must be a ghost in the room. Casper? Say, can we move on? Y'all are so fucking funny to me. I promise you. She said, look, enough is fucking enough. Okay, we get it. You made your point. Shit. Here go another one that's gonna grab you by your baby ears. Fixing. Let me make sure I spelled this other one right. Okay. Tendencies. You have to fix every damn thing. We were just talking about that. I can fix it. Don't worry about it. I can fix it. I can make it better. Just give me a month. Just let me keep giving them some love and attention, and I can fix it. No, you damn can't. No, you can't. And it's okay. All these goddamn Build-A-Bear ass projects. You can't fix it. Alright? Fearing independence. I'm just saying. I feel like y'all won't beat me up. I see what I said. Thank you for the gifts, my love. Fearing independence. This could be emotional independence. Okay? Just said you didn't even hold my hand. I'm sorry. I can't hold your hand all the time. Thank you, my love. I can't do it. Sometimes I just gotta grab you by the nape of your neck and snatch you up a little bit. Thank you, Pumpkin. Okay? Avoiding taking action. This can also be procrastination. You know what I'm saying? Not taking no action. Procrastinate on everything. And this last one, I will hold your hand, but I can't. I can't hold your hand for this one. Going with the flow. I'm sorry. Too much? Too much, too fast, too far? Y'all know I love y'all, right? Y'all know y'all got my heart. Going with the flow. Now, this is not talking about when you're allowing your intuition to guide you and your intuition is guiding you to something specific and you're like, okay, I'm just going to flow with my intuition. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about not taking action. We're talking about you see shit not working and you just going with the damn flow, just letting it keep flow. Just keep flowing into nothingness. We just flowing into the oblivion of nothing. Relationships, jobs, careers, businesses, connections. You just going with the flow. There's no real direction here. There ain't no real direction. I know this shit ain't going nowhere. We're gonna get to balance in 1 second. Okay? Heavy on the job, a lot of us get complacent. We just go with the flow. And not in a healthy way. Right? So this is overactive. Now we're about to look at underactive. What does underactive mean? If overactive means you're doing too much, what does underactive mean? Too little, not doing enough. Good job. Good job, good job, good job. All right. First one is hardened. Your energy is hardened. You're closed off. You closed off. Can't nobody say nothing to you. You close off emotionally. You don't want to talk about your feelings. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to acknowledge certain things. You got that damn boundary, and that gate is way up. It's not even protecting you no more. If at this point, it's causing you to not even be open to certain things. Right? I'm gonna get the masculine in a second, Damien. You hardened, you closed off. Can't nobody say nothing to you. You missing opportunities because you too far off somewhere the fuck else. Right? Emotionally closed off. Ooh, that looks a little crazy. You emotionally closed off. You're not even acknowledging your own feelings. Oh, I forgot to see. You're right. Now, they didn't let me sit here this whole time with this spelled wrong. Ooh, that's ugly. Oh, it's not going to fit in there right. Ooh, that don't sound right. Hold on. That look crazy, but it's corrected. Thank you, because they just let me sit in here the whole time and missing the goddamn C. Emotionally closed off. Hyper independent. I got it. I could do it by myself. I don't need no help. I got it. I don't need nobody to help me. I got me. Okay. All right, Miss Independent. Cue the Neo, like shit. Okay, she got her own thing. That's why I love her. Okay. All right, bro. we got it. I don't need nobody for nothing. I don't need no help. I don't need no handout. Views softness as weakness. Scared to be soft because you feel like that make you weak. That's gonna make people look at me weak. That's gonna make people think that I can't handle myself. They gonna play with me if I show them a little bit of softness. You can only be played with if you let people play with you. But you being soft and operating in a soft energy don't mean that people automatically gonna play with you. Where the hell you get that from? Who told you that? You know what I'm saying? We got over analytical. You reading too much into shit. Relax. I'm gonna show the other side in a second, boo. You reading too much into shit. You overanalyzing every goddamn thing. You think everything got an ulterior motive. You know what I'm saying? You think everything got a motive on it. Oh, no, I don't trust that, because what if this is this and this is that? And what if... Relax. The last one for underactive is you are disconnected from your intuition. When you're tapped into feminine energy and intuition go hand in hand. So if you're having issues trusting your intuition, hearing your intuition, listening to your intuition, following through with your intuition, you're underactivating your feminine energy. Okay? Disconnect from intuition. Elaborate a little. How does one disconnect? So disconnection from your intuition can look like not being able to distinguish your intuition from overthinking, right? Not having that relationship with your intuition enough to know this is what I'm feeling intuitively versus I've overthunk myself into this idea, this thought, or this action. It can also look like hearing your intuition, right? Knowing intuitively there's things that you need to do, moves that you need to make, but you're not taking that action. You're not following through with it. Either because you don't fully trust it, you don't trust what it's saying, you don't trust where it's taking you, you think something bad is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Something along those lines. Okay? Not listening to that part of yourself, not acknowledging that part of yourself. Okay? So, let's do a quick recap of what it looks like when we unbalance in our divine feminine energy. When we overactive, we're overgiving, oversharing. You're doing too fucking much. You're giving out too much. You're handing out too many opportunities, chances, things, money, all types of shit. You're just giving way too much of yourself, of your time, of your energy. You're overly emotional. You're overly emotional. You allow your emotions to control every single aspect of your life, to the point where it's becoming detrimental to you and your process. Lacking boundaries. You running a free fall. It's an open door policy. You know what I'm saying? You might as well just hang a sign on the door saying, hey, come in here and just do whatever you want. I'm not going to say shit. You want to come play with me? Let's get it on. You want to disrespect me? Sure. You want to lie to me? Come on. That's basically what you're saying. Staying in toxic cycles. You know the cycle is toxic. You know the situation is toxic. And this doesn't have to just be romantic. This could be toxic cycles with family members. This could be with friends, right? And when we're talking about feminine energy, we're talking about the feminine energy within all of us. So I'm not just talking to women. I'm talking to women and men. So if you have, as a man, if you have any of these traits, that means that the feminine energy within you is either overactive or it's underactive. Okay? Staying in them toxic cycles. This can also be with environments. You keep being around the same people, keep going to the same environments. You know what I'm saying? Toxic cycles can also be your way of thinking. You know that the way you thinking ain't right. It keep leading you to the same shit. Obviously. The fuck? Right? Having the fixing tendencies. Oh, I can fix it. I can fix it. I can fix this person. I can fix this relationship. Thank you, Marianne. I can fix this job. I can make it work. Just give me some time. Just give me a month. Just give me a couple seconds. Just give me a week. I can fix it. I know that they're not what I need them to be. I know that their energy is toxic and that this is not working and this friendship ain't shit. But I can fix it. We keep trying to fix shit that's not supposed to be fixed. Let it go, like Elsa. Fearing independence. Scared to do things on your own. Now, there's a difference between being independent and making certain moves on your own, right? Versus being overly dependent on somebody else. where I need this person to tell me, that this is a good idea. I gotta have this person to tell me that I should apply for this job. I need this person to tell me that I should stay in this relationship. I need this person around me so that I can feel pretty and I can feel good about myself. You know what I'm saying? You are afraid to be on your own when it comes to, providing yourself with the things that you're responsible for providing yourself with. There's nothing wrong with asking for help when you need it. Right? There's nothing wrong with partnering up with people when it's needed and when the space is created for that. But when you just, everybody, you got to make a phone call, you got to text people. I have to have these people support, or I'm not going to follow through with my business plans. I got to have my family in my corner, or I'm not going to feel like this is the right relationship for me, or this is the right job for me, or this is the right this, and that. Right? That's when it becomes detrimental. Avoiding taking action. This is procrastination up and down. I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know how this is going to play out. I've never done this before. I'm going to just wait until the 1st. I'm going to just put it off until New Year's. I'm going to just do it next year because it's a new year. Instead of making a damn move now. Stop procrastinating. Some of us will lay in bed and it'll pop up in our head, right? Intuition will say, hey, go ahead and fill out that paperwork right now. This is just an example, okay? Insert whatever the fuck resonates for you. Go ahead and fill out that paperwork right now. And the procrastination in us will say, well, I can just do that shit when I wake up. Well, I'm going to lay here for another hour, and then I'm going to do it. Then that hour come, you sleep. That shit don't get done. You wake up the next day, you forget all about that goddamn paperwork. That shit don't get done. Go ahead and start looking up some schools, because you said you wanted to go back to school, and you wanted to start this and start that, and blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm going to start looking at it this weekend. I'm going to wait for the weekend. Then the weekend come. You got 54,000 other things on your brain or other things that you committed to. You're not worried about that goddamn research. So procrastination is not always just these big, big, big things. Sometimes it's your intuition just telling you, hey, take care of this now. Because I already know that later on, you're not going to do it, or you're not going to have the time to do it, or you're not going to remember to damn do it. Right? Taking action could be, it's time to leave that relationship. It's time to go ahead and tell that friend that y'all need to be friends no more. Well, I'm going to just give it a couple more months just to see if anything happens. I'm going to just wait because they are in therapy right now. So, they working on themselves. Instead of leaving, because that's what your intuition said. Procrastination will be an overactive. Yes. Okay? Going with the flow. And I don't mean going with the flow in a way that's positive, meaning, my intuition told me to go down this road, so I'm going to go down this road and I'm just going to flow with my intuition. I'm just going to follow my heart, follow my inner guide, and, just go with that flow. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about getting comfortable. Allowing life to pass you by. Not taking any action and just allowing stuff to happen. Minutes turn into hours, hours turn into days, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into years, and you look up and you're in the same damn situation. Yes, allowing people to drag you on. We hear that a lot in 2025. Motherfuckers not moving with intention no more. We're just going with the flow. We're just gonna go with the flow. I'm just going with the flow. Be intentional. We move with intention around this motherfucker. Ain't no damn going with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sure the music industry is like that. Right? So it's the difference between moving with intention, right? Getting into an energy of creation, because the divine feminine, if we go back to what a balanced feminine looked like, that's what the first part of the board that we did earlier, right? Divine feminine is a creative. So I don't have to just go with the flow and let everything pass me by. I can create. I can tap into my divine feminine energy. Thank you, my love. And I can create and make it work for me. Right? If I don't see the opportunity that I want out there, I'm going to make the motherfucking opportunity. I'm going to create it. Right? That's balancing out that feminine energy. When we are underactive, we're hardened. You don't have no space for feelings. You're emotionally closed off. You don't want to take no advice. You don't want to listen to nobody. You don't want to hear nobody out. You know what I'm saying? Your energy is just hard. Right? I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to go out the house. I'm going to stay in the damn house all damn day. I'm going to be to myself 24/7, 365. Not letting nobody get close to me, even the people who are deserving, right? Because some people deserve to be close to you. Most don't, but some people do. Some people have proven themselves trustworthy enough to be close to you. Thank you, my love, for the beans. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? And being in this energy, being hardened, emotionally closed off, you can lose good people. You know what I'm saying? You can lose good opportunities. Things that you've even been trying to manifest. You so far in the egotistical energy, right? That you lose the shit. You don't even get it. Being hyper independent. I don't need no help. I don't need nobody advice. I don't need you to tell me what to do. I got it. We all need help sometimes. We all could take some advice. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Some people feel like, well, if somebody helped me get to my goal, then they gonna be able to tell people that they helped me get to my goal. I don't give a fuck. You can go and yell from the rooftops. I helped Poca get to her goal, and I'll be like, you sure did. Shout out to you. Hello. Going back to ego. Allowing your ego to stop you from getting what you need. Viewing softness as a weakness. And we're not talking about soft as in pussy. Okay? Because we not pussy around here. And one thing that we not is pussy. You know what I'm talking about? We not no hoes. We talking about soft in nature. I don't have to be all in your face. I don't got to be all rah, rah, rah. Look at me. I've arrived. I'm here. Boom, shakalaka. You know what I'm saying? I could just be soft. I could speak real mild-mannered. I could be myself. You know what I'm saying? I could be myself. I'm comfortable in my own skin. Right? I could play the back. I could play the front. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, Ken, because I'm gonna put this on YouTube so you can watch it. You can watch from the beginning. Being over analytical. You overanalyzing every damn thing to the point where by the time you finish analyzing, the opportunity then left. By the time you get out of your damn head, we don't even care no more. The shit is over with. I don't trust that. I don't know. It's a difference between using your intuition and your intuition saying, okay, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. This is a little strange. Just whatever. Versus you just not trusting nothing off the bat. It don't even matter. My grandmama used to say, you treat everybody with respect because you never know when you're entertaining an angel. And that's the difference between intuition and overanalyzation, right? Overanalyzation would say, well, that person's shoes dirty. They don't look like they're well kept. You know what I'm saying? They light skin, dark skin, brown skin, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Paying attention to the outer appearance. Versus intuition would say, I'm paying attention to that person's energy. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the heart me. I'm paying attention to that person's energy. And I'm letting their energy speak, regardless of what they look like. What's coming to my head is y'all know that scene of Tyler Perry's Family That Prays, right? And that particular Caucasian man who kept coming to the diner, and the mother will always feed him and let him take a little wash up and get him some clean clothes and all of that. And the daughter, Taraji P. Henson, was like, Mom, why do you keep doing all this for this man? You know what I'm saying? He homeless. He keep coming in here and shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And the mother was like, you never know when you're entertaining the angel. You got to treat everybody good, blah, 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 blah. By the end of the movie, they ain't know that man was a damn millionaire and had shares in this multi-million-dollar corporation. Right? So sometimes when you're being over analytical or judgy, you can judge yourself out of opportunities. You can judge yourself out of connections. You can judge yourself out of experiences. You can judge yourself out of being taken to the next level. Right? If I was to tell you, if you walk through this door, there'll be $1 million on the other side. But the door that you got to get to is in the middle of an alley, and it's a whole bunch of dirt and nasty shit around it. You don't give a fuck about that dirt. You don't give a fuck about all that nasty ass shit in that alley and the dumpsters and the trash cans and maybe a couple little mice running around here and there. Or you gonna run through that motherfucker and bust through that door and get that money on the other side. The difference between intuition versus being over analytical. Because that's how our life looks sometimes. Sometimes the things our intuition is telling us to do is like, oof, I don't know about that. That looked a little crazy. That sounded a little crazy. I don't see how that makes sense. Why would $1 million be on the other side of this dirty ass alley? I'm not understanding how 1 + 1 is equaling 2 around this motherfucker. Right? But intuition says it's on the other side of that. Intuition says this is the path that you got to go down. So if you be over analytical and you be too judgy, you know what I'm saying? And you sit there and you over analyze the shit forever and forever and forever. 10 times out of 10, you're not going to bust that door down and get what's on the other side. Right? So a balanced feminine is intuitive. More than anything. They're intuitive. Their intuition is telling them exactly what to do, exactly where to go, exactly how to move, exactly how long to stay there, when to leave, who to be around, who not to be around, so on and so forth. All right? Disconnected from intuition. It's the reason why these are right beside each other. All right? Go ahead and screenshot this, write this down, do what you need to do, and then we're going to get into overactive and underactive masculine. And then we're going to get some quick tips and tools to balance each part. And we're going to be done for today. Shout out to everybody who's gifted so far. I appreciate you, my loves. Everybody who shared, who's liked, who's commented. If this is your first live with me, feel free to drop a heart in the comments. Yes, I offer one-on-ones. Click the link in my bio and go to my website. My website is linked in my bio. Thank you, Kels. Cute little puppy. Shout out to all the newbies. If you are OG, triple OG, and you done been with me for a while, go ahead and drop 100 in the comments. 100 grand. Hey, that's my people now. All right. If everybody got this, put a thumbs up in the comments. Had to find your pages like 5 times. Child, look, I know. When this live got banned, 2 years ago, I was like, damn, there's gonna be a lot of people like, where the fuck Poca go? But then, you know, divine timing. I got it back this year. So everything worked out. It all worked out. Let it all work out. Alright, everybody good on this? Ooh, we about to get into our overactive and underactive masculine. I'm not going. We was singing the song at the same time. Cause we is locked in, twin. Great minds, Bookie. Alright. Overactive and underactive masculine. So I think I'm gonna go back to doing at least 1 or 2 lessons a week. Let me know how y'all feel about that. It'll be around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On the days that I choose, I'm thinking Wednesdays for sure. And maybe Thursdays if we don't do Wednesdays. Or if I miss a Wednesday or something else happens. And I'm going to try to start around the same time every time we do it. Y'all know if we're not doing lessons, we're doing readings. We do readings every Monday, unless I'm not here. If I'm not here on Monday, then we're doing Tuesdays. And usually Thursdays. So I'm going to do another reading tomorrow. We do topics some days as well, just depends. So it'll either be a lesson or a topic on Wednesdays. All right, let's get into our overactive masculine. Overactive masculine energy. First word, dominating. You gotta dominate the conversations. You gotta dominate the space. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be all loud in everybody's face and doing the fucking most. And, you know, just irritating us. We irritated. Okay? Aggressive. Yeah. Now we have to make sure I'm spelling shit right. Being aggressive. That goes back to that volatile energy. You talking aggressively. Your energy coming off aggressive. Your mannerisms is aggressive. Doing too fucking much. Emotionally shut down. You emotionally shut down. Now remember, we're talking about overactive masculine energy. So my divine feminines, you can have this as well. We're not talking about you just being a man and this is how you act. No, we're talking about the energy of being in an overactive masculine energy. So my divine feminines, you can also have an overactive masculine energy within you. Somebody said it in the comments. Controlling. Gotta be in control of every damn thing. Everything gotta go your way. Just controlling as hell. Doing the fucking most. Seeing vulnerability as weakness. Not one to be vulnerable because you think that's a sign of weakness. So if I show that I'm vulnerable, if I show that I got feelings, if I show that I care, then that person will look at me as weak. Which is not the case. Obsessed with status. Status is everything. Right? I'm obsessed with my status. I gotta be the boss. I gotta be the CEO. I gotta be in charge of this. I gotta be in charge of that. I gotta be the number one of this and the number one of that. I can't take a back seat. I gotta be in the front. Right? Power hungry. Being in a power hungry energy. You going back to being controlling. I gotta be in charge of everybody. I gotta be above everybody. I gotta look bigger than everybody and stronger than everybody. Again, my feminine energies can possess these qualities too. And if you as a feminine energy possess any of these qualities, that means you are overactive in your masculine energy. If you are a masculine and you possess these qualities, that means you are overactive in your masculine energy. Okay? Now let's move on to an underactive masculine. Underactive masculine energy is passive. You just let people do whatever they want. You're not standing on no boundaries. You know what I'm saying? You're not standing your ground. Letting people manipulate you, play with you. No protection in sight. You're scary. Okay? You lack direction. You don't know where the hell to go. Now remember when we were talking about the balanced qualities of a masculine energy, one of those things was leadership. So if as a divine masculine, you lack direction, you can't lead nobody nowhere. You can't lead yourself no damn where. Right? Indecisive. Can't make up your mind. Can't make no secure decision. Avoids responsibility. No accountability, no responsibility at all. You're not saying, you know what, I did fuck up. I could have done that better. I could have said that better. You right. You know what I'm saying? You right. I'm going to show the other side of the board in 1 second, okay? Once I recap, just give me 1 second. Not taking no type of accountability, no type of responsibility. Everything is everybody else's fault. If they would have did this, then I would have did that. If this ain't happened to me when I was 3, then I wouldn't blah, 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 blah. All right. Relies on others to lead and protect. So you're not protecting yourself, you're not leading yourself. You wait for everybody else to tell you what to do. You wait for somebody else to come and tell you, hey, go to the left. And then you go to the left. Don't do that. And then you don't do that. Take this step. Then you take that step. Just waiting for somebody else to tell you what to do. Not taking any type of initiative. Going back to what we said a balanced masculine look like. They take action. Right? They represent movement. Fearful of confrontation. We're not talking about fighting. We're talking about speaking up for yourself. Hey, Mita. Right? You don't want to speak up for yourself. You scared to confront people that have done you wrong. You scared to set the record straight. Oh, I don't want to shake the boat. I don't want to... You know what I'm saying? Just let people get away with whatever. Thank you, my Mita boo. All right. Last one. Lacks discipline. No discipline. You all over the place. You all over the place. Thank you, Thomas. No discipline in sight. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to make sure y'all can see this thing. Okay, there we go. Can y'all see the whole board on both sides? So when you're overactive in your masculine energy, this is whether you are divine feminine or not. Doesn't matter. You can be a woman, you can be a man. It doesn't matter. You still have masculine energy within you. And if that energy is overactive, you're going to be dominating, right? Got to be in control of everything, dominating everything, aggressive, coming off too strong, being too rah-rah, being too volatile, emotionally shutting down all the time, not speaking on your emotions, not dealing with your emotions, not acknowledging the things that you feel, or even the things that other people feel. Right? Because when we're dealing with emotions, we're not just dealing with the emotions that we feel. We also have to be present and open enough to understand and understand what other people are feeling and going through as well. Having to be in control of everything. You can't take the back seat. You got to be driving the boat all the goddamn time. Can't nobody else step in and navigate us to where we need to go. You look at vulnerability as a weakness. Anytime you get to a place where you feel like you want to be vulnerable, you want to, you have feelings, there's something on your mind, there's something that you feel that you want to share. You don't, because you feel like, oh, people gonna look at me like I'm weak. You know what I'm saying? And I know personally, as a divine feminine, that was one of the signs that I was in a masculine energy. Me feeling like I had to control every single thing was one of the signs that I was in an overactive masculine energy. Okay? Obsessed with status. You gotta be number one. You gotta let everybody know that you did this first, and you was here, and you was that, and because of you this happened, and because of you that happened, and we can thank you for this, and we can thank you for that, and you know these people, and you know that many people, and you know this famous person, and blah 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 blah. All this shit that don't fucking matter, right? And being power hungry. All you care about is power. All you care about is what you have. You don't care about nothing else. You don't care about the people. You don't care about nothing. It's just the power. Am I in control? Am I running the show? Right? Having an underactive masculine energy means that you're passive. You're not protecting yourself. You're not defending yourself. You're not speaking up for yourself. Boundaries are not intact. You just let people skip all over your damn boundaries. Right? You lack direction. You don't have any direction when it comes to your life. No type of direction. You don't know where you're going. Not moving with intentions at all. Right? You're indecisive. Can't make up your mind. One day you feel this, the next day you feel this. One moment you're over here, the next moment you're over here. You don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm going to do this. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I don't know. I'm just going to stay in the middle. Drive myself crazy with the thoughts over and over and over again. You rely or you're avoiding responsibility. So you know that you're responsible for this. You know you're responsible for that. But you're avoiding the responsibility. Not doing the things that you know that you're supposed to be doing. Not taking accountability for the things that you messed up in. The things that you done wrong. Relying on others to lead and protect. You're not standing up for yourself. You wait for somebody else to tell you this is a good idea. You should go do this. Okay, now make that left. Okay, now make that right. Okay, now go straight. Okay, now cut the car off. You know what I'm saying? You letting too many people tell you what to do, and you're not operating on your own accord. Following your own intuition and your own inner guidance. Right? Not protecting yourself. Allowing too many different people into your energy that obviously aren't beneficial to you or your journey. Right? Fearful of confrontation. You scared to shake the table just because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Or you don't want them to be mad at you. Or you don't want them to walk away from you. You know what I'm saying? You scared to speak up for yourself. I don't want to make it awkward. I don't want to make it weird. I don't want them to walk away. I don't want to lose them. So I'm just not going to say anything. Yeah, okay. And lacking discipline. No discipline at all. You know that there's things you're supposed to be doing and you're not doing them. You know that there's things that you're supposed to be getting done and you're not getting those things done. Right? So go ahead and screenshot this. And then we're going to end off with some things that you can do. What if you have the qualities of both overactive and underactive? Perfect question, because that's what we're about to get into. I'm about to get into the things to do to correct both sides. Okay? So let me know when y'all got this. Thumbs up in the chat when y'all finish with this particular part of the board. All right, everybody good? You welcome. Can you move the full board into the screen? Is that better? I know the ring light is casting a little shadow, but as long as y'all can see it, then we good. Okay, good. Okay. Let me know when you got it all. Tempting. Good. Got it. Okay. Alright, so let's do our final part, and then we're going to get up off of this thing here. So we're going to end off with tips on how to strengthen both sides, whether you are overactive or underactive. Things that you can do to help to make sure that you are operating in a balanced energy. Making sure that your divine masculine and divine feminine energies are balanced within you as a being, whether you are a woman or a man. Okay? Alright. If you learned something so far on this live, feel free to gift. I appreciate it. What we at with our likes? Okay, we have 57. Let's see if we can get to 60K before we get up off of here today. I think we can do it. I know we can do it. Let's turn it up a bit. All right. So, thank you, my loves. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate you. Okay, y'all not playing with them likes. I like it. I like it. So for my men who are strengthening their feminine energy, this part I'm probably not gonna write down because it's a lot to write and I don't feel like it. So I'm gonna repeat it multiple times. You can either screen record this part, you can write it down yourself, or when this video gets posted to YouTube, feel free to rewatch it so that you are able to get the information that you need. Okay, let me fix my camera first. All right, boom. All right, I don't know why it looks better to me. Okay, cool. So if you are a man and you need to strengthen your feminine energy, the first thing to do is, number one, journaling. Okay? Let me put it in the comments. 1 second. So journaling, and we're not just journaling just in general, but journaling about our feelings. What am I feeling? The thing about feelings and emotions is it may not all make sense to you at the time, right? You may not understand or understand, I don't know why I'm feeling this way or feeling that way. But you still need to write as much as you can about the fact that you're feeling something in general. Because eventually, the more that you kind of write through it and talk yourself through it, it's going to start to make more sense. A lot of the reasons why you're not able to make sense of what you're feeling sometimes is because you're not giving yourself the opportunity to work through the process of deep diving into those feelings and emotions. Okay? So journaling is going to be helpful. Okay, my divine feminines, you can do this as well, but specifically for my masculines, because feminines are more used to journaling, especially about their feelings and shit like that, or talking about it at the very least. So this is what I'm saying for my men. Okay, The second thing is, when you're having a conversation, try not to offer advice, but to be more in an energy of listening and understanding where that person is coming from. Because masculine energies are so logical, sometimes there's a disconnect between masculine and feminines, because the feminine sometimes doesn't need advice. They just need an ear, and they just need to know that you understand where they coming from. They just need to know that you get why their feelings was hurt. You know what I'm saying? They just need to know that how they feel makes sense. And just to kind of have somebody to be like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get why you feel that way. Right? That's going to help pull you out of that, not completely out of the logical space, right? Because it's all about balance. But it's going to help you start to see things from a different perspective and be like, oh, I don't have to offer advice all the time. I don't always have to come with a solution, right? Because men are more solution oriented based on logic. It's like, okay, if this is the problem, then this is the solution. But sometimes people don't need a solution. They just need you to know what the problem is and understand why that is a problem, right? The second thing is movement of the body, right? So moving the body is a feminine, is a way to act out in feminine energy, right? Dancing, yoga, breathing exercises, things like that, right? Will also help you kind of loosen up energetically and move more into your feminine energy. Another thing is creating a relationship and getting more intertwined with water. Water is one of the number one feminine energies that we all have access to, whether it is bottled water, whether it's a bath, or whether it's a shower, or whether it's a body of water, a beach, a lake, a stream, whatever, right? So getting more intertwined with the energy of water will also help you get more intertwined with the energy of the divine feminine, okay? And help to really build up that connection on a deeper level, okay? Now, for my men, if your masculine energy is underactive, okay, one thing you can do is start to set weekly goals, right? Now, this can really be for my divine feminine or my divine masculine if your masculine energy is underactive. Excuse me, Poca need a nap. I did not say Siri, I said excuse me. Setting weekly goals, right? These could be very small goals, very small things that you want to achieve throughout the week. Doesn't have to be long drawn out, like, yeah, this week I need to make $5,000. Like, relax, okay? It can just be simply like, this week I want to make sure that I'm waking up at a certain time every day. Or this week I want to make sure that I'm journaling my feelings and emotions, at least once a day. Or this week I want to make sure that I'm staying consistent with my meditation. Or this week I want to make sure that I'm not eating out as much and cooking more from home. Thank you, my love. Just simple things like that. Things that are obtainable, but things that you can look forward to accomplishing throughout your week, okay? Another thing is utilizing the sun. Get in the damn sun. Walking, laying, sitting, running, jumping, I don't care. Just do it in the sun, okay? The more you are in the sun, the more you're able to pick up on that divine masculine energy and be able to, work with it on a deeper level, on a more personable level, okay? Another thing is figure out one thing that you can do to become more disciplined and use those 7 days of that week to practice being disciplined in that area. So like I said before, maybe it's your sleep schedule. Maybe it's your eating habits. Maybe it's, applying time or setting aside time to accomplish your goals or to work towards your goals. Maybe it's creating a checklist for your business and accomplishing that. Maybe it's, leaving the house on time, or whatever, okay? Pick something that you need to be more disciplined in and spend 7 days pushing yourself to be disciplined in that area, okay? And then the next week you pick something else, and then next week you pick something else, and then all of a sudden you look up and your life has changed because now you're disciplined, okay? It starts with one thing, all right? The next thing is calling on your higher self or your ancestors to awaken the protection or the protective energy within you. Okay, so calling on your spirit team, calling on your ancestors when it comes to protection, awakening the protection in you, making sure that you're sticking to your boundaries, making sure that, it's being made clear to you the areas where you may not be so connected to your boundaries as you need to be. You may not be standing on your boundaries in the way that you need to be, in the manner that you need to be, as strongly as you need to be standing on them, okay? Different stuff like that. Maybe it's certain decisions that you need to make that you may not feel brave enough to make or courageous enough to make, or whatever the case is, right? Utilize your spirit team, utilize your higher self. Talk to your higher self as an extension of you. So the same way that when a lot of us was in church or in religion, we would talk to Jesus and stuff like that. Talk to your higher self like that. Okay? I'm not going to say worship your higher self, because you don't necessarily have to worship, but acknowledge your higher self in that manner. Okay? And that would help you for sure start to get things, get the ball rolling for you in your life. Okay? All right, for my women who need to strengthen their divine feminine, all right? One exercise is writing down and getting familiar with the moon phases. And as those phases are happening, kind of journaling what's going on during those phases and allowing yourself to connect to your intuition as those phases are going on. So, for example, if we're under a full moon phase and you feel, your intuition, you tap into your intuition and your intuition is saying, hey, during this phase, you need to let go of this and let go of that, and let go of this and let go of that. Because, the full moon represents releasing, okay? Letting go of things that no longer serve you, right? So, following your intuition, letting go of those specific things, and then journaling about that process, so that later on down the line, or that next month, or maybe 2 months from then, when everything starts to make sense and you start to realize, oh, that's why my intuition said to cut that person off or to let that go, you can go back and you can look at it, and it'll show you that you can be trusting of your intuition and listen to it, because obviously it's guiding you towards something that is going to sustain you and help you along your journey, okay? Another thing is singing, writing, painting, moving your body, okay? Getting more into the space of creation, right? It's a reason why as little girls, especially 90s babies, and shit, even now, we all wanted to make up dances and make up cheers and paint and color and all of these different things, because we were truly connected with our feminine energy at that point, right? So get back to that stuff. Buy yourself a coloring book. Buy yourself some canvases and some paint, some watercolors. Get you some chalk and go the fuck outside and do some chalk on the ground or something. You know what I'm saying? Just get back into the joys of creating and being in the creative space, because your divine feminine energy rules creativity. So if you can push yourself to be creative in one area, then you're automatically going to start to be more creative in other areas, especially if you have creative blockages, right? Especially if you feel like the ideas are just not coming to you, you just don't know what to do, you just don't know how to move forward. It's like, I don't know, right? Start to do little things like that, little creative things like that, getting some Legos or, a puzzle or something like that allows you to be in a more creative space is going to be helpful to you to help break down that door when it comes to you not being completely in tune with your creativity in other areas of your life. That door when it comes to you not being completely in tune with your creativity in other areas of your life. Okay? The next thing is asking for help when you need it, okay? And accepting compliments. Yeah. I know. Asking for help when you need it. Oh, we got the 66K. Okay, I know y'all not playing. Let's get to 80. Asking for help when you need it and accepting compliments. Stop downplaying compliments. Oh, that shirt is so cute. Girl, this shirt ain't shit. I got it off Shein. It was like $5. You didn't have to do all, you have to say all that. You just downplay. Take the damn compliment. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, if they ask where you got it, then you can provide the other information. I like your hair like that, girl. It's time for me to wash it. My damn head itching so bad. They don't need to know all that. They just said your hair was cute. Why are you telling us that your hair is dirty? You giving up too much for no reason. We didn't ask for all that. Okay? Accept that compliment. You so pretty. Me pretty? What you mean? I got all of these dark spots on my face and I was just breaking out. And... Okay. What the fuck? I don't think they care about that. That's why they called you pretty. I don't think they care about any of that. Okay? Take the compliment. If you need assistance, if you need help, ask. Just ask for the help. It's okay. Let the people help you. One thing that really helped me get into my feminine energy, I would ask for help for shit I didn't really need help with. I love acting like I can't do shit, especially around men. What? Oh my God, this is so heavy. Can you hold this for me, please? I cannot carry this thing of water. Can you please get it for me? Can you bring this in the house for me, please? They men. They like to carry shit and show how strong they are and pick up the shit and I got you. Yeah, carry that for me. Thank you. I could have did it myself, but that's not the fucking point. That's for me because I knew I was too in my masculine at one point and I wasn't allowing nobody to help me and I act like I could just do everything. Oh, I got it. I could do it. I don't need you to help me. I'm struggling to carry groceries up the damn steps because I'm trying to prove a fucking point. Help me with these groceries. Real men love a damsel in distress. Oh, I can get that for you. Oh, no problem. I got it. I'm like, thank you. Bat your eyes a little bit. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. They love to help, especially when they can flex a little muscle and show you that they got you. Again, providers, protectors. They getting something out of it. You getting something out of it. Everybody is winning here. Period. Act like you can't shit. I can't do it. I need help. I got 3 younger brothers. Right? And me being the oldest and the only girl, I always felt like I had to prove that I got it. And, blah, 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 blah. I'm not doing that shit. Come get this. Pick this up for me. Carry this bag. Thank you. Okay? I'll be watching basketball with a nigga. I know a little bit about it. I'm still going to ask questions. So, like, when they do an and one, like, what does that mean? So, if they shoot the ball from the middle of the court, then that's a 3-point? How does that work? Why was that point 3 and that point was 2? I know some of these answers. That's not the fucking point. You know how excited a nigga is to explain basic basketball to a woman? Because when they watching this shit with niggas, they don't give a fuck. Nigga, you know what's going on. As a woman, they're like, all right, so boo, look. They get excited as shit, especially if they love the fucking sport. Look, so when they right here, okay, and they shoot the motherfucker, that's why it's a 3. And I just be like, For real? Okay, I think I got it. That makes sense. You know, twirling my hair and shit. That makes sense. I'm gonna ask motherfucking questions. I don't give a fuck. And listen, very intelligent. I know a lot about a lot. Certain things I don't know, but I know a lot about a lot. Especially you growing up with brothers, you know a lot about a lot. These niggas don't know that I know that. I don't know. And when you are with a man who wants to be a man, they want you to turn your brain off and rely on them for certain things. As a divine feminine, that's the best thing ever. I don't gotta think for real. I can just exist in my feminine energy. I know I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be taken care of. I'm gonna get the information I know. I'm gonna be straight. And he could walk around with his chest poked out like, yeah, I got my baby. I'm taking care of her. She's straight. She good. I'm moving out the way. The same way that man don't want to worry about certain things that the divine feminine is supposed to be worried about. He know when he leave the house, you covering him. He's protected. Because you are the connection to the spiritual realm. He don't got to worry about it. He telling the motherfucker that you play with me if you want to. My girl in there, she'll fuck around and throw some salt on your ass. Your ass is grass. The confidence a man has when they go out into the world knowing that they are spiritually protected by the person that they're in a relationship with is the same way a woman can go out into the world with the confidence knowing that if anybody run up on her or if shit get a little crazy around this bitch, that man got her. Physical protection versus spiritual protection. Both needed. Right? Okay? Now another thing. Thank you, my love. Taking time to rest. Being intentional about resting. Resting is not just something you do when you burnt out and you don't have nothing else to give. What do I mean by taking time to rest and being intentional about it? That means I know I need some rest. My mind been all over the place. I've been going through whatever all throughout the week. This whole weekend, I'm staying my ass inside. I'm laying in that bed. And the only type of movement I'm making is to toss from one side of the pillow to the other side. I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm booking that staycation. I'm going to go 45 minutes to an hour or two away from my goddamn hometown in a hotel where don't nobody fucking know me, and I'm going to act like a tourist. I'm going to book this trip out the country, and I'm going to actually be on the trip and enjoy myself. Not doing no work on the phone, not checking no funky ass emails. Right? I'm going to be intentional about the rest that I need throughout the day. If I have a work period and I know that I'm too far in my head and I got too much going on, I'm gonna set me a timer for 30 minutes and I'm gonna lay my ass down. I'm gonna close my eyes. Even if I don't fall asleep, it don't fucking matter. I'm gonna lay down and I'm gonna close my eyes and let my body and my mind rest. Because I can't do anything if I'm all over the fucking place. You know what I'm saying? I can't be productive if I'm mentally everywhere, if I'm physically tired and all of, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing I could do. So being intentional about resting. Resting is also saying, hey, I know that I agreed to help you this weekend, but I help you every weekend. This weekend I can't do it. I know I told you I was going to come to that event, but baby, I can't do it. I have to catch the next one. You know what I'm saying? I know I told you I was going to come pick you up or do this or drop you off or whatever the fuck. Not this time. No means no. Okay? I'm withdrawing my damn consent. Period. Okay? For my women who are strengthening their masculine energy if it is underactive, okay? Boundaries, just like what I was saying, right? Normally you agree to this, normally you agree to that. I'm saying normally you say, yeah, I'm gonna be there, and I'm there every single time, so of course I'm gonna be there this time too. Yeah, well, this is not a normal day or a normal time, and the answer is no. I won't be there. I can't agree to that. Whether it's I won't be there this time, or whether I'm just never gonna come back at all. I'm no longer gonna be available, period. Okay? Same thing like for the masculines. Having some type of list that you have throughout the day. It could be 1 or 2 things, 2 or 3 things that you want to accomplish throughout that day. In the beginning of your day, you establish, either in the beginning of your day or the night before, you establish 2 to 3 things that you want to accomplish within that day. Right? Thank you, Thomas. And you start navigating through that day with the intentions of completing the things on that list. Right? Affirming yourself throughout the day. I'm going to finish this list out. I'm going to get this shit done. No matter what happens, no matter what's going on, no matter what takes place, I'm going to accomplish this. I'm going to get it done. Okay? Another thing is practicing some type of self-defense. I've been seeing a lot of women get into martial arts. I've been seeing a lot of women get into boxing. I've been seeing a lot of women get into like taboo. I think that's what it's called. Purchasing pew-pews and going to like the gun range. Getting training when it comes to using your pew-pew. Okay? Things of that nature that reminds you of your strengths. Because you are a strong divine feminine. And now more than ever, you need to know how to protect yourself on a physical level. And sometimes a lot of us as women can be a little hesitant to doing things, out about in the world because we don't know what the fuck is going to happen. So we want to try to eliminate some of them fears by getting into things that remind us of our strength and that can prepare us for certain situations. I don't know if y'all seen the video of, I think it happened in New York, of course, of all fucking places. There was a lady who was getting on or off of a train, I'm not sure. And this big ass grown man just tried to literally pick her up and carry her away. Big ass grown man just tried to literally pick her up and carry her away. Thankfully, there was other men around who seen it and, stumped his ass out. But he had got so close to her, put his hands on her, everything, had got her down to the ground and everything. Right? So things like that can most definitely, for a woman, put you in a state of fear. Right? And shout out to the men who are protectors, who are real protectors, that don't play that shit. Whether it's your girl, your sister, your mama, your cousin, it don't matter. Stranger or not, you don't play that shit. Shout out to y'all. Okay? That's how it should be. Alright? Another thing is grounding. Put your feet in that dirt. Do you hear me? As a feminine, you gotta connect with Mother Earth. It's a part of it. That's just how it goes. You can't tap into your feminine and you're not connected with nature. That don't even make sense. Right? So you gotta be connected with nature. Grounding, tree hugging, you know what I'm saying? Sitting outside, sitting under the moon, okay? So on and so forth. Your moon rituals, if you have some. Okay? All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns before we head out for the day? Shout out to everybody who's been here the whole time. Y'all know I appreciate y'all real bad. Thank you, my love. Yes, grounding is so important. Okay, for some reason I can't damn spell. How's my day? My day has been amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you for asking. Shout out to all the people who's gifted. Shout out to all the people who liked, who commented, who shared. I appreciate you all. 3D work, 4D work, and 5D work. Yes. Of course. Of course, of course. Thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow, I'm thinking we'll do a reading tomorrow. I'm not sure of what topic yet. We might just tap in and see what we see. And go from there. Okay, what time? It'll probably be around the same time, so 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I come on a little bit earlier, then just make sure that you have your notifications on, so that you can get the alert. Sometimes it alerts and sometimes it doesn't, unfortunately. But yeah, shout out to Be More. I knew it. Well, yeah, I live in Baltimore, but I'm from DC. But yeah, I live in Baltimore. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns, my lovelies? Everybody good? My big up people, y'all good? Everybody straight? If you want to book any one-on-one services, feel free to click the link in my bio and go to my website. Let me put my website in the comments for my big up people, so that you guys can book if you choose. Also, make sure that you subscribe on YouTube, because this video will be posted to YouTube tomorrow rising. Sometime maybe around like 7-ish a.m. For those who want to watch it back from the beginning, if you missed any parts, if you just want to go back and check your notes or write your notes or whatever, if you didn't have an opportunity to do so. So I know some of y'all be driving and watching at the same time. So yeah, it'll be on there by that time. Make sure you turn on your live notifications for that, or your notifications period for that, because it'll probably premiere as a regular video on YouTube. The video that I did, the reading that we did yesterday, has been uploaded. It premiered today, so feel free to go and check that out. I went into more detail on that video about Uranus being in Gemini, as well as Leo season being the 5th zodiac, and the significance of 5, and the changes that we can kind of look forward to as we continue to go through Leo season into Virgo season. Okay, so I will see y'all tomorrow. Take care, be safe. Again, shout out to everybody who's been in the live, who's been supporting, liking, commenting, sharing, gifting. It is all appreciated, for sure, 100,000%. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing rest of your night. Take all of these messages into consideration. I am also doing a reading special. The reading special is not on my website. So if you are interested in getting a reading, feel free to inbox me directly, either on here, on TikTok, or you can shoot me a message on my other socials that are linked in my bio. Go ahead, boo. Ask your question. Is being an alpha female considered a bad thing? No. Not within the general consensus of the meaning of being an alpha female. Now, if your version of an alpha female is being a masculine female, then yes. But if your version of an alpha female is just you being at a different ranking when it comes to being a feminine, then no, if that makes sense. So within the ranking, you have regular divine feminines, right, who are here to do whatever they're supposed to do, and then you have alpha feminines who are here to kind of provide something different. They're more in a leadership type of energy versus just being a regular divine feminine, right? Same thing for your masculines. You have your regular masculines that are just here to be masculines. Then you have your alpha masculines who are here to provide leadership to the other masculines, and they're kind of set apart in that manner, if that makes sense. So traditionally, being an alpha female, being an alpha male is not a bad thing. But if being an alpha female means you're being a overactive divine masculine, then yes. If being an alpha male means that you're being a overactive divine masculine, then yes. Right? So as long as you remain balanced, and you, thank you my love for the gift, and you are staying in the intended energy, then it just is what it is. We're all not created the same energetically. You know what I'm saying? We're just not all created the same energetically. Some of us have a greater purpose to serve than others, and that's just how it goes. Okay? Make sense? Yeah, definitely connect with each other, for sure. For sure. You're welcome. All right, my babies. I will see y'all tomorrow. Be good. And we'll tap in tomorrow. All right? Peace.